Going down, it's your boy Juicy J. My hustle is our hustle, man. That's what you're watching right now. It's going down.
Poppers, Kendrick Lamar, my dude Rambo. Hustle. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Hip Hop Report. Today is Friday, and of course we have new music, starting with TDE, Isaiah Rashad, and his new album, It's Been Awful. Now the album is about 17 records, I believe, and only has 2 actual major features alongside one of his engineers, SZA, as well as Dominic Fike. Now Dominic Fike is kind of a pop crossover singer, pop, I guess kind of like, I would call it like grungy pop singer, right? And then of course SZA is a multi-platinum, Grammy-nominated R&B singer. Also on the same label, Isaiah Rashad, as Doechii, as Kendrick. Now, we also this week got a new album from Wiz Khalifa and Currency titled Roof. Man, that title is too long for me to remember, but it's part 2. So if you're a fan of Currency, if you're a fan of Wiz Khalifa and you heard the first one, then this is a sequel. It's only about 7 records, but Harry Fraud produced it, so you know it's not just going to sound like a movie, but it's going to be a movie about smoking weed. So you kind of, if that's your bag, then you already know what it is. And you know what to expect. But I was really impressed with the production, and honestly, as much as I listened to both of these, I kind of feel like Currency and Isaiah Rashad maybe have a sound that they need to explore sometime in the future, because I do think that, if they're not similar, they're as close as similar gets. Now we also got new music, which I didn't expect, from The Dream, on Put a Body on It, Put a Bag on It. We also got a new record from Danny Brown, kind of a Detroit house, kind of alternative record. That's not even hip hop, but if you like Danny Brown, you know that pretty much anything he puts out is going to be something new and fresh, and it's going to be him taking a risk. It's not going to be him just giving you the same song he gave you last time because you like that one and he's bringing you the new one. No, Danny Brown is going to bring you something original that's got some taste and some shock value to it, of course. Now we got a new record from Blue and Exile called So For Real. No, not Candy Rain, Soul For Real. And of course, Blue and Exile are a group that is so underground that when I checked it was about 6 hours in and it only had like 1,500 views. But, that's the difference between people that choose to only speak on things that matter and those that chase the bag. None of that is wrong, none of that is right. But at the end of the day, the difference is very obvious to what fans interact with and engage with and actually listen to on a day-to-day basis. So, the question really ultimately at the end of the day becomes, why do you listen to music? What does it do for you? And I think in most cases, people are just listening to music to enjoy life. And so that's what makes conscious music or critical of society music that makes you have to look in the mirror and say, am I doing right by what I need to do, is where a lot of those records, they just, it's harder to listen to it. There's more weight to these kind of records. So when you compare major artists that do one thing or do the other, you have to take that into account. It can't just be a black and white numbers game, because obviously I'm taking a risk and I know that I'm sacrificing a large part of my audience, my potential audience, by speaking on these things that most people aren't trying to listen to it like a Friday night when they step out. That's just not, and that's how we love music. We create love for music through nostalgia and the ability to connect through music through life events. We got a new record from Tiara Thomas called Distractions. Now, if you don't know Tiara Thomas, she is a singer and songwriter that wrote the record Bad. It was #1 in the country, and they even did a remix with Rihanna. She is from Indianapolis and an amazing voice, amazing pen game. But, I really enjoy her style of music in the sense of, it just has this very laid back, nonchalant, but also edgy appeal to it that I really always judge. It's a chill, laid back record, but some of the ways that she writes and puts her words together really make me feel like it's got the potential of like a Sade kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Shout out to Sade. She just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, this year. And last but definitely not least, Kenny Mason, one of the artists that I've been looking at for like the past 4 or 5 years. If you guys look down on the channel, one of our most successful album reviews we've ever done was the Kenny Mason Hood Angel, I believe it was called. I can't remember the name of the album. But for us, Kenny Mason has been by far one of the brightest lights coming out of not just Atlanta, but hip hop in general. Creating a huge buzz with his record Hit, which honestly just popped up on my YouTube timeline in the times that we were developing the channel and starting to record. And I checked it out because I always click on new talent. That's how I found Poison Ivy. That's how I found Naughty Slim. That's how I found all these artists, because I'm intrigued by music enough to say, like, ooh, what is this 800 view music video that just randomly popped in my timeline with this particular artist? I have a tendency to click on all of those because I just find it super intriguing to find new talent at an early stage. Now, Poison Ivy already has 700,000 followers on Instagram. I don't know if that transfers into YouTube. I haven't looked at her following on there as well. But you know, artists like this, when you find them, it's just incredible to see the trajectory of these artists and now how they evolve. You know, and that's how you know there's no plants. These people are really out here working for years and years and years, and most of them actually don't ever get listened to or heard or noticed. So, you know, whenever you find an artist that has a break, or when people have a break like that, I always watch those very intently so I can educate myself on how they moved in that space with that newfound attention.
Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you want the latest and greatest, do it for the game. Music, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you want the latest and greatest,